today Yotes and I made Tiropites with my sister and my daughter. So we're just going to take you through the whole recipe, and then we'll give you the recipe, take you step by step through everything you need to do. Yotes, what's your hot tip? So today we're making tiropites, and so we've just put in 2 kilos of plain flour and 1 kilo of double zero flour and half a cup of melted butter, and also put some salt in there as well. Now we're rubbing the butter into the salt and flour mixture. So it's all pretty much touch and feel, and you're just going to add another half a cup of butter to the mixture, so that's just melted.
1 cup.
So 1 cup in total of melted butter. That's straight off the stove, so it's not cooled down or anything like that. It's just nice and melted. Once that's all rubbed in, we'll add in how much water? We see. All by feel. Alright, so now we're adding the warm water. We're literally measuring and doing this recipe as we go. So we've put 5 cups in there, and we'll see how we go.
We'll take it.
What it will take. So the technique that Yotes uses to knead the dough now is the rolling of the fist. So you show them Yotes. No.
Sí, put some more water.
So we need more water. So that's another cup. We're just writing the recipe down as we go. So she just rolls her wrist into the dough with her knuckles. And so far we've put 6 cups of water in there. So just adding a bit more water.
That's it.
So you can see already the texture. Mum's been kneading that for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. So it's all by feel. So the cheese, this is the Australian feta, you just grate it on the grater, and we're doing 2.5 kilos. This is the end product. Yotes has been kneading it for about 20 minutes. So you basically just keep kneading it till it's nice and smooth. There's no dry flour. We ended up using 6.5 cups of warm water, and you just keep adding it. But you need to make sure that you've kneaded it to ensure that all the flour is worked in with the water and it's all absorbed. So don't panic if there's a little bit of flour. You just need to keep working it. You could probably use a machine with a dough hook if you wanted to.
I've never done it.
This is what it looks like. So I would probably use a machine with a dough hook if I needed to use a machine.
Now we'll cover it with glad wrap and leave it for 20 minutes to rest.
Yeah. So now we're just going to mix in the grated Neufchâtel, the pepper, and the 8 eggs. So it's nice and creamy, and then we'll add that to the mixture. We've added half a cup of milk to that as well, and maybe a little bit more. Okay, so now Yotes has whisked up the Neufchâtel, the 8 to 10 eggs. We put 10 in there. Olive oil, milk.
You put olive oil. You did?
Yeah. Did you put oil in there, Yotes?
I didn't.
Well, you meant to put oil in there anyway. And so now she's just getting the ricotta and just ripping it apart and just sort of putting it into the feta mixture. And then once that's all broken down, she's just going to add the Neufchâtel and egg mixture. Neufchâtel is cream cheese, just in case anybody's wondering.
Get the spatula in the spatula.
Just mixing in that egg and cream cheese mixture. Yotes has just put on the glasses because she can't see the pepper. So you need to be able to see the black specks that gives it the flavour.
And the pepper is preferable. Which,
yeah,
you like
whatever you like. Yotes' word preferable. Whatever your preference is. You can put as much or as little as you like. So she's just mixing it to see if she needs to add any more milk. We've just put some on standby, put it in a cup because otherwise she's just going to throw it in.
It's just not right, I think.
So it just needs to be nice and, well, not creamy, but still firm, but wet.
What's in that bowl?
No.
So just not runny, not too firm, because otherwise your Tiropites, they're going to leak out. You want it to stay into the pastry. So we're probably going to add a bit more pepper because we can't see it in there. Yotes just adds the powdered ground pepper, not cracked pepper. So just added a bit more in there. So she had mixed it in with the cream cheese and egg mixture before, but we always just check to see if you can add more.
Two handfuls.
2 handfuls of dough each time.
Doing the pastry. Put some flour on the bottom and roll it.
So you're just using plain flour. You can't use self-raising.
No.
So you just put some flour on the board and on the top, so then it doesn't stick to the board and the rolling pin. And you just got to roll it out till, I don't know, maybe half a centimetre to get through the machine. So we'll talk through the numbers. Okay.
I put her on the thickest
number.
And then where's the knife? Cut in the middle. You can work on it. And then put on a number 3. And then on number 4.
So this is getting thinner, tighter. So what's the thickest? The thickest number is what, 5?
The thinnest.
Thinnest? No, the thick. What we start with. What number is that?
1.
1. So you go to number 1, number 3, and then number 4.
And then cut it again because it's getting too big. And then put it on the thinnest, number 5.
Finish.
Number 5.
But it's not thin enough, so
Thin enough.
I put it twice. Range. Molly's helping? No, you can. You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do it together?
Uh-huh.
The other way. The other way. Come on. Come on. Oops. Oopsie, wait.
Hey, I want to do it too.
All right.
So now you got to stretch it. Why do you do that, guys?
So it's thinner and gets to two pieces,
You get 2 rows.
yeah,
So
two lines.
Yotes cuts it in half, and then she'll basically cut the length for us to fold the tiropites with the filling. And so we do all of that at once, and so it's just about a handful of dough, a couple of handfuls of dough from the container to when you're rolling.
Yeah, a handful, yeah.
A handful, yeah.
Bring it for you.
Good girl, thank you,
So
Robin.
now you get the melted butter and you cover the filo sheets. That needs to be completely covered, so not just in the middle that Amalia is doing, needs to be the whole thing, and not too much. So you just got to make sure that there's not too much butter on there.
Butter the pastry.
Yeah, just butter the pastry properly, a bit like the galactobutical. You need to make sure the whole thing's covered. So Amalia's going to cover everything, not just the middle of the line. And you just do it lightly, like Yotes is doing just there. Just don't press too hard.
Good girl, Maritza.
But you need to make sure the whole piece is covered.
Sharpie,
So,
cut it through the middle.
Now you cut it in the middle. And then you're just going to put a bit of cheese in there. She's going to cut the length. So now she's going to cut the length of how long we're going to fold the cheese triangles.
It's about 15 centimeters.
15 centimeters. And
Dip
then
your milk, dip your cloak.
3/4 of a
3/4 of a tablespoon of the cream cheese mixture
the filling.
filling. See how it's nice and firm, it's not runny.
While you're doing that, I'm going to do this.
Good girl.
You've done a good job. Slowly, Bukrama. Not too much butter.
So now Yotes is going to show you how to fold one. So tell them the tips, Yotes.
Again, one end, go to the other. I don't know how to say that.
So you just go to each corner, corner to corner, but it's going to be nice and tight because you don't want the pastry to explode when you
No, the
are
pastry.
baking them. The filling. You got to make sure that it's all in together. Now this
From one corner,
one
the
corner to the
opposite.
other,
and then
and you got to make sure there's
from
enough
one corner to
filling.
the opposite.
Not too much filling. That's why Yote said 3/4 of a tablespoon. So just your normal soup spoons or dessert spoon.
One corner to the opposite corner.
Yeah, can I do some?
In a minute, Bukrama.
And so Yote did about 15 centimeters. So she just cut that off there.
Can I do that too?
In a minute, babe. Now this takes years. I still don't know how to fold them as good, but yeah. Once we fold the whole one, we put it on a tray and then chuck that in the freezer to put into the container, or you can cook them fresh. But Yotes usually makes enough to freeze and give to all of us. They even go to Melbourne. So nice and tight. You have to make sure that they're corner to corner nice and tight because otherwise the mixture will come out when you're cooking them. Tell us what we're doing.
So now they are kind of doing it once, so
Doing
while
tiropites.
they're doing that, I'm going to twist. This how many minutes they can
So
do.
we're doing tiropites, Amalia?
What?
We're doing tiropites.
Yeah, but I'm going to do this.
Be careful with
My
that.
favorite part.
Now that's the way we freeze them now, so they don't.
We pre-freeze them to put them into a container. So we're just going to chuck them in the freezer, and once they've gone nice and hard, we'll show you later, and we'll put them in the container.
We'll put them in the bags and put them in
In a container.
container.
So now we've made them. We put a bit of butter on the bottom, and we're just going to make sure we coat them with either olive oil or butter, but olive oil seems to work the best. And then we're just going to cook them till they're golden brown, and we've put them oven on to 180 with the fan. And so yep, you just make sure they're nice and coated. If you don't put olive oil on the bottom, you've got to put butter, but you have to put some butter. Usually we just pour it in the bottom and then just use the excess oil to put that on top of that there. So we pre-freeze these onto the trays. Just here, we just put a bag on there and put them in the freezer. And then you put them into a container in a bag to freeze them in bags. So you just need to make sure that once you've frozen them on the trays, then you put them into a bag in another container. You can't just put them in there, otherwise they'll get squashed. So you need to pre-freeze them.